So the real reason they got rid of Dr. Vinay Prasad and made him resign was that he was standing in the way of Big Pharma profits by having safety tests and trying to protect your health instead of protect the profits of Big Pharma. That's the real reason. So big news, this guy, Vinay Prasad, who we've covered on this show plenty, and he did some good work on COVID, and he did some false work on COVID. And we challenged him on this show, and of course he won't come on the show. And we challenged him to bring RFK. He was critical of RFK's talking about ivermectin, and he gave misinformation about ivermectin. Vinay Prasad, somehow he ended up in a top spot at the FDA under RFK. So he was getting it from both ends, right? He was getting it from people like me who caught him lying about COVID, and he was getting it from the people who were the liars about COVID because he didn't lie enough about COVID, and he told the truth about COVID sometimes, right? He told the truth about masks. He told the truth a lot of stuff about lockdowns. He told the truth about, and so. But, you know, he still lied about certain things, ivermectin being one of them. And Steve Kirsch tweets out, so he was certainly way better in his job at FDA than we've had somebody at the FDA in my lifetime. So there's that, right? So, and that's probably why RFK chose him. And Steve Kirsch, if you know Steve Kirsch, has been... He's the billionaire who's been on this COVID thing for since the beginning. He sniffed it out. He said, this is what happens to people who try to protect the public from dangerous drugs. Top FDA official result. He tweets out this. This is from the New York Times. Top FDA official resigns under pressure after turning down several new drugs and restricting use of another. Dr. Vinay Prasad drew the ire of the right-wing influencer Laura Loomer. And so this is what Laura Loomer went on a tirade after him. And it's all about how he's a progressive and how he said bad things about Donald Trump. And I'll just give you a little taste of it. She says, the leftist, Vinay Prasad, the leftist saboteur undermining Trump's U.S. FDA must be fired now. We have a crisis at the FDA. A wolf in sheep's clothing is sabotaging President Trump's bold Make America Healthy Again agenda. So she calls him a self-proclaimed progressive liberal and a Bernie Sanders fanboy. He's wormed his way into the top FDA role. I don't think he wormed his way in. I think RFK chose him at the Center for So he's the director of the Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research. So this is no mere bureaucratic misstep, she says. It's catastrophic vetting failure. So they're pretending like we didn't know all this stuff about Vinny, or RFK didn't know all this stuff about Vinny when he appointed him. And we all did know all this stuff. We all knew that he was who he was and what he's very public. He's very online.
He's very public. He's online. He's a big presence. He does podcasts. I mean, who cares, in my view, Jimmy, who cares who a scientist voted for 2 cycles ago? It's irrelevant. So I personally find Laura Loomer's tweet, disturbing, because I don't care who these people vote for. What I care about is, are they committed to honest science? Are they into transparency? Are they going to put people ahead of pharmaceutical profits? That's all I care about. And, I think, like you said, he was only in the job 3 months. He had a mixed tenure. I don't think that the turbulence is probably super helpful to the FDA or to Kennedy as the head of HHS. But I think what's really important is that they get somebody into that job right away who's well qualified, who's committed to honest science and transparency. This is the head of this CBER, the Biologics Evaluation Research. That means they oversee all vaccines. They oversee all other biological products. Prasad did just can a particular drug, Sarepta, and once he's gone now, they recommence the shipping. And apparently the stock prices of some of the biotech companies have gone up since his departure. So, it's hard to read those tea leaves of exactly what went down. I don't think it matters. What matters is let's get on with this program to make America healthy again. And the FDA is critical. And a lot of money really hinges on decisions of the FDA.
And so people are pointing, literally, even the New York Times are pointing to this tweet thread that Laura Loomer did, attacking him as a progressive. That basically, he wanted Joe Biden to win, stuff like that. Hey, do you remember the stuff that Tulsi Gabbard said about Donald Trump?
And Bobby Kennedy, for God's sake. Bobby ran against Trump. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
This is, this ideological test to me is honestly offensive. It's like, I care about people who can do their jobs in the administration, who care for the American people, who are qualified. I don't care who somebody voted for in their personal life. It's their own business.
I agree with you. And I'm just so I'm suspect of why Laura Loomer did this thread now. Yeah. And so let's get into it. So even though RFK supported him, according to the New York Times, it wasn't enough in the face of criticism from Ms. Loomer and lobbying of White House officials by former Senator Rick Santorum, which reached President Trump this week. Ms. Loomer also surfaced old social media posts in which Prasad declared that he was a political liberal. So all this stuff. So this is the real reason this happened, and they need a cover story on why they got rid of him. And the cover story is Laura Loomer saying he's a progressive and he's a mole. But the real story is this. Dr. Prasad also faced heat for, you mentioned this just now, for cracking down on a company, Sarepta Therapeutics, which came under heightened scrutiny after 2 teenagers and a 51-year-old man died of liver complications after using the company's gene therapy drugs. Though Dr. Prasad pressured the company to stop shipping its drug, Elevides, I think that's how you say it, for Duchenne muscular dystrophy, he reversed the decision days later for young boys who can still walk and who are believed to be at lower risk for complications. Dr. Prasad's critics argued that his actions with Elevides amounted to a crusade against Sarepta, the company. So now this former Senator Santorum,
here you go,
who has ties to Sarepta, so of course he's also reposted an editorial lambasting Dr. Prasad on social media and called top officials at the White House to relay his concerns, according to a person familiar with the matter. To Prasad, the danger isn't a fatal disease killing your child. It's the prospect that someone might get a new medicine he doesn't think is worth using, an article in Real Clear Health, which Mr. Santorum reposted on social media, said. Dr. Prasad was also the centerpiece of a Wall Street Journal opinion article whose headline called him a Bernie Sanders acolyte and Maha drag. Prasad made inroads with the political right during the pandemic, slamming public health efforts such as social distancing and putting masks on toddlers. He has also expressed openness to supporting placebo-controlled trials of vaccines in the past, a top priority of Mr. Kennedy. So that's the real reason. So the real reason they got rid of Dr. Vinay Prasad and made him resign was that he was standing in the way of Big Pharma profits by having safety tests and trying to protect your health instead of protect the profits of Big Pharma. That's the real reason. And Laura Loomer is a cover story. Wouldn't you say that, Mary?
I think you're probably right. I do think this ideological stuff is ridiculous. And the real reason, and I wonder how much former Senator Santorum was paid for his interventions to, reverse the decision on Sarepta and to get rid of Vinay Prasad. Like I said, the real question here, this appointment doesn't have to go through Congress happily. So the real question is, who do they have lined up to take that job? It's a really important job. It really is the job that's going to oversee everything that relates to qualifying or disqualifying gene therapies, other biologics, vaccines going forward.
So if they can force Vinay Prasad out for doing that, what are the chances we're going to get anybody in who is going to be as good as Vinay Prasad or is going to have the same kind of ethics? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like they're going to bring in a hack that's favorable to the Big Pharma, because that's the only thing that they'll. I mean, I don't understand why RFK would roll over so easily. Why do you think he would roll over so easily from people? Is it because Trump? Do you think Trump?
Well, we don't know. I don't think we know the whole story here, Jimmy. I think you're right that this is a cover story. I don't think we know what the pressures were. And we don't know that Kennedy rolled over either. And we don't know who he may have as his, next appointee. I think Makary, who leads the FDA, I don't think they want somebody who's a hack. I don't think they're going to tolerate. There's plenty of hacks in the HHS throughout this 80,000 person bureaucracy, but they're not going to be looking for a hack. That's for sure. So it's a big loss, though. Not only was he the head of CBER, but he had also just been elevated to be the chief scientist and medical officer at FDA. So they are for sure looking for somebody right away. I think there are some really good choices out there, actually, people in DC who really care. So I'm hopeful that they'll put somebody in right away who's going to be committed to the Make America Healthy Again agenda and not afraid to put people ahead of profits.
So it's still a bit of a mystery of who gave the order to get rid of him. And it seems like it must have come from Donald Trump or the White House, and that's why Rick Santorum was lobbying Donald Trump, and he has access to him because he's for hire. And, Donald Trump takes lots of money from Big Pharma. I think in his I think that in his first administration, they gave him something like $100 million for his inauguration.
Absolutely. Remember that when Trump came down the escalator, when he had been nominated, he met with Robert Kennedy. This is back in 2016, and Bobby Kennedy was going to head the Vaccine Safety Commission. And then, nominee, President Tucker, I guess, elect, had taken money from pharma, and the trail went dry. So, for sure, Big Pharma is all in the mix. And for sure, we basically have captive regulators. And that's what Kennedy is trying to undo. So I don't believe that Kennedy is going to be down with putting in a hack, nor do I think Makary or the other kind of number two at FDA, Sarah Brenner. I don't think that's what they want to get. But I am troubled by what just happened. And it's not over till it's over, Jimmy.
Yeah.
The stock prices may have gone up today, but let's see what happens when the new person comes in.
So, it just reminds me of when Barack Obama passed Obamacare and stock prices for big pharma and health insurance companies went through the roof or went up significantly. Same thing happened here. They get rid of this guy. Stock prices for big pharma goes up. Not a good sign. And the fact that they can, force a guy like this out under the guidance under, our RFK Jr.'s leadership, they can force this guy out, doesn't give me hope that they're going to be getting someone in who's just as good. So but fingers, I mean, it doesn't, fingers crossed. I mean, Donald Trump is really betraying a lot of MAGA and now Maha with this. This had to come from the White House. So that's my guess.
Well, I think that's probably right. And don't forget that what we saw was that memo a week or so ago that was leaked through a Brownstone publication of the group Bio. And they basically, it looked to be an authentic document that said, our job is to divide and conquer. Our job is to spend $2 million for lobbying Congress to see if we can't get Kennedy out by September. Pharma is they are very scared of what is going to happen come fall, not only about autism, but about this strategy document about over-medication of Americans, getting the food supply cleaned up, changing the lifestyle and the perspective of Americans and how the regulators function. So there's absolutely an all-out push by pharma and by biotech in particular to divide and conquer. And this would seem to be, I would say they want a point here to get Prasad out. But I think we have to wait and see what's going to happen next.
Okay. Well, Mary Holland of the Children's Health Defense Organization, I really appreciate you taking time, giving us your insight on this. It's always good to check in with you. You know everything about all the MAHA goings on, and thanks for your expertise, and I appreciate you. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon under better circumstances.
I agree.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Jimmy.
Thank you, Mary. Come see us in Oxnard, California, Rutherford, New Jersey, Manhattan, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, and Chicago, Illinois. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.